if you're in the workplace or if you're about to join the workforce and you think, man, I don't know how to get ahead, I don't know why I'm not getting ahead, or I want to be able to hit the ground running when I get there, follow this video. It's probably the number one thing that I wish I knew coming into the workplace that would have helped me, and now I'm going to tell you. So this is John from Broad Prospecting. Glad you're here. Glad you're back if you're returning. I would say in the series that I've been doing of things I wish I knew in high school or college, this is the number one thing that would have made the most impact for my career. And that is that you need to be able to self-promote and publicize your successes, because other people won't. There's other reasons for that. I'll go into that in another video down the line. But the reality is there's a lot of competing interests out there, and there's a lot of time requirement for other people to promote you. So they typically won't unless you are working with or for them directly on their tasks and not yours. So the ways that you go about promoting your tasks in the workplace, there's kind of 5 aspects of this that I try to follow myself, and I'll walk you through them. So number 1, when you first start a project, you got to pre-stage that project. So you got to write up an email, call a meeting, talk to 2-3 people individually, however you want to do it, and say, hey guys, I'm looking at doing this thing. The goal is to either decrease the time we take to do XYZ task, or reduce the cost of making this product, or. Scope it out, tell everyone what you plan to do, get their feedback. Not only will it get them engaged with you, maybe give you more direction on how you should do your task, but it will put everyone on the map of them saying, oh, interesting, out of the blue, this person had an idea and they're going to do something about it. That looks great for you. So that's pre-staging, okay? Then, when you get your actual project going, like you've scoped it out, you know how you're going to go about it, and you either get your manager to say, hey, here's people you need to work with, or you've chosen who you're going to work with, you then write up an email. And you have to have it documented, because documentation is a big thing. And you say, hey guys, I'm now doing this thing. Here's what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, where I'm doing it, the goals, and if anyone has feedback or if I need your help, FYI, this is what we're doing and why. Okay? So that will be your running email chain across your project to ask for feedback, ask for help, ask for people's numbers if you need calculation support, whatever it might be. And that will be immensely helpful because you'll have everything right there all the time. The third thing you're going to need to do, and you can do this either as you get into the project and you understand the numbers better, or if you know the numbers ahead of time, calculate out what the value of your project might be. Not necessarily in the pre-staging portion of this, but ideally, if you can, throw some onto that email that you're going to send, and or add them in the email chain as you find them throughout the project. Now, when I'm talking numbers, I mean numbers. So if you have a team of 10 people and you're hoping to save 1 hour of their labor every week across each of those 10, so 10 hours of labor a week, well, if you have 2 weeks of PTO a year, that's 50 weeks of work time. So 10 hours times 50, 500 hours a year. If you're making $20 an hour, that's $10,000 a year saved if you can make this project work, not including the time that people are going to have back to do other valuable things, right? You got to put those numbers on the email or on the communications that people see and think about, because everyone has ideas, everyone has things they're doing, everyone has a job that creates some sort of value. But if you can tell people what the numbers are behind your task, even if they're not as big as the numbers someone else is working on, without verbalizing that, yours will stick out because there are numbers there. Okay, if it's reducing cost, that's usually pretty easy. However many units you're going to make minus the cost you reduced, there you go, compared to your profit. We'll get into that later as well. Okay, so have the numbers. That's number 3. Number 4, so when you get done with your project, you're going to have a situation where you need to report this out, right? Your ongoing email chain that you've held on to from the whole project is going to have a lot of stuff on it, and you're probably going to wrap this up and send out the final updates, post-implementation, calculated value, verified that everyone's on the same page and agrees that this was successful on that email chain. But what's going to happen with that email output is that you're going to need to report that up. Now, there's 2 ways to report that up. One, when you actually finish this email, you're going to add on that last message that updates everyone with the final outcome. Either you're going to add a manager from another team that's impacted, or you're going to add the person above your direct manager if they're not already on this, or somebody, just to get the word out. Why? Because everyone in that email knows this is happening. They're familiar. They can kind of move on. It's old news to them. They knew you were working on it. They knew it was going to happen. But this new person who gets added to the email, it's hitting them for the first time. Bam. Okay, cool. All their attention is going to be on it, And they're going to publicize that. They're going to ask questions. They're going to be surprised. And surprise is very important in some cases like this to get people to actually engage with things. So add that new person on that final update and bring in someone else, or a way to look at it is widen the berth of who's seeing your actual activity, right? That email also has one more important aspect. That email you're going to document out. You can put on your goals. Every corporate environment has goals, or they have like an annual review where you go to your boss and you say, I did this, or my goals were this and I achieved this much of them. Well, this should probably be on your goal list if you have a goal list. If you don't have a goal list, you should have a project list you're tracking that says, here's the value of my projects and things that I did. Use that as your kind of final output report to report your goals or your success. And that goal list or that annual review gets pushed up to HR. It usually gets pushed up to 1 or 2 people above your boss in the chain of command. And it gets on your record of, hey, success or failure in your job, this person gets all that recorded every year on your goals. Now, I came into my career thinking goals are, a joke. My boss knows what I'm doing. And that was a mistake, because I did some really big projects, fun projects that would have been good if they'd been recorded, but I found out later my boss hadn't recorded them. Well, that was my fault. Don't make that same mistake. And the last thing you should do is, once your project's wrapped, everyone's on board, everything's been communicated. Think about this. Say, my project impacted these things and these processes, and I went about it this way. Now, there's probably at least one other department in your company, if it's a large company. If it's a small company, maybe not. But at a large to mid-sized company, you're going to have at least one more. Wow, that was a super loud bike. You're going to have at least one more group that could benefit from whatever you just did. And you're going to go to that group and you're going to say, hey, I just got this thing done. You're kind of doing the same sort of thing. Maybe you could take the framework or the data or the whatever I did here and apply it to you to make some benefit. Offer to help them. Bring it to their manager, their supervisor, their lead, or someone you work with as a counterpart within that team, and push it. And if they take it and they use it, help them, you'll get credit for introducing it. You'll have more visibility on your project, and you're going to make friends elsewhere, which is going to be very important, because down the road they can help you now, and they will come to you because they'll see you as someone useful, someone productive. So that's kind of the 5 ways you should go about publicizing what you're doing and getting the word out about your activities. The disclaimer and caveat here, you have to be humble about this. You don't be bragging. Just stay with the facts. Like, here's what we're doing. Here's what happened. Here's the outcomes. And thank everyone that worked with you. If you have someone that did, not even a ton of work with you, but if you have someone who took time out of their day to help you, you need to put on, big thanks to this person for helping out with XYZ thing. Why? Because if they don't get credit for helping you and they took time to help you, even if you think it's within their job scope, next time you want help, they're going to say, I got 0 credit last time and it took away from my normal tasks that I do get credit for, and they're going to give you the big finger next time. Don't let that happen. Include your team, include your friends, include your enemies if they helped you. But publicize what you're doing, get credit for it, and that will help you move up in your career, I promise. So I'm going to wrap that here. Thanks for tuning in here. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.